Hello there, Runneteers. It's Manny again, and today we're going to discuss the Princess merchandise has been leaked online because right now registration is going on for the Club Run Disney people. So a couple of them shared some pictures, so we got those pictures. We'll go over them. We have registration for Princess going on next week. And what about Springtime Surprise? Are we going to get anything, any hints anytime soon on what the theming is going to be like? And of course, we have our ongoing training videos at the very end. But before we do get into that, guys, please subscribe. You guys are amazing. Subscribership, even though we're on our downtime, has been going up. A lot of people have been asking questions. Please comment down below. Please reach out to me on social media. I will do my best to answer every question and hopefully see you guys out there. I will be out there. I will be at D23, so I'll have a video from there also. So without further ado, let's get going on this video. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Springtime Surprise. When can we expect the theming? A lot of people, and I completely understand because a lot of people are saying, should I go to Princess? Should I go to Springtime Surprise? But I don't know what the theming is going to be for Springtime Surprise. I would use that as a backup plan because we're not going to know. Registration for Princess is next week. Again, they could all of a sudden leak it out sometime this week. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be somewhere between the August 12th that week. So, which is about a week before registration goes on for Club Run Disney, which we'll get into in a little bit. And then, of course, regular registration for us mere mortals. I believe it's the 27th of August. So I think it's going to be a couple weeks before that. So I'm saying 11th, 12th, whatever it is. That week, I think that's when we're going to get to find out what the theming is for Springtime Surprise. So we're going to get to see some of the merchandise that you can order next week if you are able to get into Princess or if you already have gotten into Princess. And let's go ahead and take a look at the merchandise. So we're starting with some Pandora things. This is Mulan, the 5K. Then we move on to Princess Jasmine, the 10K. But I'm not sure again what these are. But we also have Princess Aurora for the 13.1 miles, which is a half marathon. And of course we have Snow White, which is the 19.3 or the challenge. Then we're going to move on to the pin bundles. And so we have the 5K pin bundles. Of course, we don't know what the medal is going to look like, so that one is not going to be shown. We can't see it here for the 10K, but again, this is a 10K pin bundle that you can get. This is the half marathon pin bundle. Again, the one we won't see is the replica of the medal. And the last one is the challenge medal, the challenge pin bundle, which is Snow White. Now we got some other stuff here, the corksicles, we got some magnets, so we got other things that we can see here. Now we got some sweaters, we got some, well, here are the little jackets, but I should say we got the Spirit jerseys. Here basically is more like a sweatshirt kind of deal. And then we have another jacket. So these are 4 different jackets or sweatshirts, whatever, something long sleeve for cool weather. Now here we have some shirts. We have some more magnets to see, but we are starting with some of the shirts that you can see here. Here's another different shirt. This one actually looks pretty cool. Again, I just don't like the concept art. I want to see it. Another one that looks pretty cool because it's a cool color is this one. Now, what do you guys think about the merchandise? I'm going to give you what I think. I personally, right now, I'm very hesitant because these are like concept arts. And so when I see the concept art, I don't know exactly what it looks like. One thing you got to remember, guys, is that if you pre-purchase this, you can no longer return it. It used to be that you could return it. If you have an annual pass, you could return it and then buy it back with the discount. Now you have to keep it. There's nothing that you can do about it. The only difference is going to be is if the size didn't fit. If there's a defect, then you can return it. But besides that, they're not going to let you return it. So my advice is, unless you badly want it or know that you can get rid of it, either resell it or whatever it is, then I would not pre-order anything. I just like to go there and check it out. Some of the people that I reached out to said, it doesn't look as good as I thought it would. But then again, I also have to play the other side and say, well, I might show up and say, man, this looks fantastic. Again, once we get there, we'll be able to tell what it really looks like. But that is the merchandise that's going to be for pre-sale for Princess. Now let's get to registration. Most of you have been following this channel know that I usually do a video on how-to tips, tricks, whatever it is for registration. This time, for the next couple of runs, Princess and Springtime Surprise, I'm either going to put it in the description below, or I'm going to try seeing if I can add the card at the end so you can click on that and get that, because it's very repetitive. The things that I'm going to say are the important things that I think of. Number one is please, please, please understand that these are just tips, tricks. This is just experiences I've had over the years. They've helped me get into many, many races over the years. It doesn't guarantee your place in the run, but it gives you the best possible chance. It gives you a fighting chance. Also remember that I do not work for Run Disney at all. So again, all these things are just, all these tips are from experiences that I've had over the years. And the last thing I want to say before I go over a couple of other things is this. If you do not get into the runs, you guys have, and I know you guys because I've seen you guys on social media, a lot of you guys who comment and a lot of guys who I've interacted with. You guys are fantastic. You're great and everything, but don't get angry on social media. Don't tell people off. I've seen people do this. They get mad. I hope you get hurt. You guys who are going to drop out or whatever it is. That's not the Runnineers. The Runnineers are here to support. A lot of people, last year I did not get into the Princess 5K. I went and I cheered on. I volunteered. I've had fun doing these things. It's a learning experience, and I had a lot of fun. But there's a reason why, like Michael Gabriel of Runs to Small World, the Puppet Runner, David Thompson, who runs the Dead Last Starters, they didn't get into some of the runs, and they were out there cheering us on. That's the reason that I gravitate to go and talk to them. They're fantastic. They're awesome. This is what Run Disney is. So if you didn't get in, wish everybody luck. Thank you. I hope to see you out there. I hope to see all of you out there. But just follow the lead and just be, as positive as possible, as encouraging as possible. Hopefully they have the same experiences that we have had over the years and they just enjoy themselves. So with that said, again, I'm not going to go over all the tips, but a couple of things that I'm going to go over are the things that I feel are really, really important. So number one is test out your Wi-Fi. Test it out the days before, and the data too. Test them out the days before, the morning of, to make sure that, because again, right now it's raining and storming out here. So again, it could drop off. And so we've had this happen the last couple of months here in San Antonio, where all of a sudden, because of storms and stuff, we've had outages. And so if you're out, then you're going to have to go on data. If data is out, then it's not going to look good for anybody. But please test those out and look at the weather. Make sure that you got everything because of course, if you're going to take the day off, make sure that you can get somewhere where you have really, really good Wi-Fi, really good data, and so that way it gives you the best chance of getting in. And when you watch the video, remember to write down everything that you can and prioritize. Which run do I want to do first? If I don't get into that one, do I want to have a backup plan? Do I want to have a third backup plan? What am I going to have? Make sure that you have all this so you can go in quickly, you can get your race, and if you didn't, you can go real quickly back in and get your backup plan. And also, if you are running with other people, again, prioritize. Do I have to run with them? Do I not have to run with them? But it would be nice to run with them. So it's a family member, a close family member, a close friend, or a coworker or something like that would be fun to go with. All right, so there's going to be different ways that you're going to plan. Prioritize that. Make sure that you get in there. Don't panic. The more you panic, the worse off it's going to get. The more you're going to misspell things. The more you're going to miss spots. So don't panic. Things can happen. Again, we've seen it happen. I don't think that it's going to go bad. I think we're going to go through registration, and I think it's going to go fast. So now I'm going to go to my predictions. I think the 5K, the 10K, and the challenge are going to sell out pretty fast. Probably within the first hour of going. I think the half might last a little bit longer, but you got to remember that for the half, we run through Cinderella's castle. So that one's going to go pretty fast too. I think by 2 hours, everything is going to be sold out. So that's my take on it, but don't panic. Remember, and I'll say it in the video you're gonna watch, that time can drop really, really quick. Last time I was in there, it said 60 minutes, it went to 55 minutes, and it went to 7. So it went really, really quick, and I was in there pretty quickly. If I would have panicked, I could have logged off, said, oh, the heck with this, and I would have missed out. So it dropped pretty quickly, so don't panic. Does it mean it's going to happen to you where it's going to drop that quickly? I don't know. I hope it does. If it doesn't, still don't panic and don't be upset. Have the backup plans and magical luck to you in registration. Now next week I hope to do a video on Club Run Disney very quickly. I'm gonna make it a day before, so not next Wednesday. I will be releasing that video because registration for Club Run Disney will go the next day. It's gonna be a quick video because I don't think there's gonna be many slots. I think very few are gonna get into it, and when I mean very few, I mean less than 100, probably even less than 50 are gonna get in there. And so it's gonna be one of those things that I wouldn't put my money on it. If you can get in, that'd be great. If you're gonna take a day off of work and it's a non-paid, I would think about it. It's up to you ultimately, but I think it's gonna go really quickly because again, there's only certain slots, and those slots have to be given up. And it's not like even a regular Disney registration. If those slots are not given up, then there is no slots. So I don't, from what I can feel, not all the slots have been given up. But so we'll do a video on that, and then the next week I'll do a video on D23. But we're going to continue with our training video, so we're going to go outside for that one. So when I was thinking about topics, it was funny because I was thinking about this, and then all of a sudden I started running with my running partner this past weekend, and she mentioned that she had heavy legs. And I said, you know, that's one of the things that I've been reading a lot about. I had written down some notes about it. So we're gonna go over what causes heavy legs, how we can prevent it maybe, what we can do about it, and we're gonna go outside and run. Now it's a little bit kind of runny, been raining, so it might be a little bit humid, so you might see a lot of sweat equity on my shirt. But without further ado, let's go outside and let's go for a short run and talk about running with heavy legs.
Well, here we are outside. So we're going for our nice little run. It's very muggy, it just finished raining. So yeah, kind of gets us into that Florida running weather. So if you never run there, it can be very humid. And I always call it deceivingly cool because some mornings it could be very cool on run days. Then you start running and you go, man, I warmed up real quick. It's actually still cool, but the high humidity just doesn't allow you to cool down. With that said, I thought about a lot of different topics, and I had actually written this one. Then I ran this weekend with my running partner, and she stated that she needed to slow it down and even stop because her legs were heavy. She goes, I don't understand why. And I had already done some research on this. So there's many different reasons why when you're running, all of a sudden, your legs get real heavy. So, and they could be heavy before, during, or after the run. Why is that? There's many different reasons. And before I start, I'm gonna tell you this. Whether you wanna run with heavy legs, it's up to you. But you can be successful. I've done it before, especially when you're running consecutive days and you're doing high mileage. Your legs can be a little heavy and you can get used to it, but sometimes pushing through can cause an injury. I always tell people this: if it's blunt pain or discomfort, that's one thing. If it's a sharp pain, yeah, I wouldn't run through that. So it's up to you guys. Sharp pain, I would not do it. But let's get to why you get heavy legs. So one of the main reasons you're gonna get heavy legs when you run is nutrition or improper nutrition. And I'm gonna include hydration in there, or in this case, dehydration. So nutrition, we talked about it a little bit, and I'm not gonna get a lot into it, but try to eat as clean as possible. Good forms of carbohydrates in the forms of vegetables and fruits. So those are going to be the main ones. And of course, good sources of protein, lean chicken, fish, and healthy forms of fat. Usually the ones that have high omega-3s, or even supplement with that. I do. That helps with blood flow circulation. So proper blood flow circulation. If you're not getting on the other side of the conversation, is if you're not getting good nutrition, it can lead to recovery issues, and then that's when you're gonna have heavy legs. And of course, hydration. If you're not properly hydrated, you're going to be running with some heavy legs too. So make sure that you keep hydrated when you are running, before and after also. Well, another reason you might have heavy legs is recovery or lack thereof it. So when you're running, you need to recover before you do your next run. So a lot of things become very, very obvious. If you are running hard days back to back or close together, maybe 2 out of 3 days you run, and you run hard days and your legs are heavy, maybe make one of those a slower pace run. So like hard runs are going to be your long distance runs, and of course your speed work, so your intervals. So if you're running too many of those, you may not be recovering. You don't have the time to recover, so that's going to cause a problem. And guess what? You're going to get some heavy legs. The next one is going to be you're starting a new program. So a new program, either you're a beginner runner or you're just starting a new program, and you don't have the base, but you decide to go all out. And going all out means you're going pretty hard almost right away. People do this, they make the mistakes. They see people online saying, I'm already here, I'm already there. So they get a little jealous. They sit there going, well, I'm gonna catch up in one run. Don't do that. So pace it, make yourself, get yourself comfortable with your base. Then you advance at your own pace, okay? So that's another reason recovery, you don't recover quick, is you don't rest enough. And rest enough is not only runs in between runs, but it's also sleep. A lot of people are sleep deprived. They'll only be sleeping 4, 5, 6 hours a day. Then they try running. Doing it once in a while, you can get away with it. Doing it on a regular basis, your body's just tired, so it needs rest. Remember, the miracle happens, especially when it comes to muscle building, when you are sleeping, when you are resting. So make sure that you get a proper amount of rest in between runs. If you're running and you're training for a challenge, at the beginning especially, until you adapt, make sure that you get the adequate rest if you're running with heavy legs. And I'm gonna start walking for a while because I'm getting a little bit winded. It's just super hot out here. Another thing that can throw off your running and cause you to get heavy legs is how and where you run. So first of all, we'll start off with how. And I've alluded to this before. This is called body mechanics. So you should have a proper way of running. Again, I'll have a video in the future to kind of give you some ideas. If you have a certified running coach, or you have access to like a running club, a running shoe store where they're all certified, they're pretty good runners, they can watch your gait and they can give you some tips on what you're doing wrong. But again, if your gait is off, you're going to be pounding the pavement a little bit different than most. So again, your legs can and will become heavier. Well, I started running again. So the next one is going to be where you run. So where you run is very, very important. You often hear people saying, I'm not going to run on concrete. So I'm going to run on asphalt, or even better yet, a track or grass. That's because the ground can be non-forgiving. So for example, I'm running on concrete here. This is not the best. This is more of a bike trail. So this is not the best. So this is why sometimes running I have to slow down a little bit, because again, concrete doesn't have much give. Again, proper shoes also help, but when you don't have that much give, your legs have to work harder. They're put under a lot more stress. So that can cause your legs to just feel heavier. So you do this, maybe you can do a warm up or cool down on a track or on grass, somewhere where there is a little bit of bounce and it gives back a little bit. Morning. Hi there. Some dogs over here. so that way your legs can start feeling better. But these are basically, and again, I can go on forever talking about this, but these are the basic reasons why your legs can feel so heavy when you're running. And sometimes it's not just one, it could be a combination of all the above that I've talked about. So this is where, what can you do about it? I'm gonna start with the first one is keep a journal. So if you keep a journal, you can make notes on where you've been running, how you've been running, have you been getting enough hydration, have you not? So at least early on, until you learn your body and how your body reacts, keep a journal. That's the first thing that you can do to kind of combat heavy legs. So I brought down 4. So that was number 1. Number 2 is hydration. And you've heard me say this before, and I'm gonna say it again and again. If you start really focusing on your hydration week before the run, like people said, start hydrating. I find that mindless. I think to myself, you should already be hydrating, and you should be hydrating at a high level. So you do this while you're training, so that way when you get to the run, you're ready to go. But again, put that in your journal and make sure you hydrate properly. That'll help with heavy legs. The next one is, so this is number 3, if you're just eating mindlessly, start changing that, okay? Start getting some more vegetables, fruits, lean proteins and meats. Again, salmon has omega-3 fatty acids, which are good, and they cause, they can help with blood circulation. So that's what you're aiming for, good blood circulation. Damn, the sun is hot right now. So I would suggest fixing your eating habits now. Make notes of what you're eating the night before, especially a hard run, either distance or intervals. See how you react. And if it works, keep eating that. And then the challenge is going to be trying to find out what you can do at Disney the night before to get that kind of food in your system. But that's number 3. And number 4 is adjust your training schedule. So if you have to, I know that a lot of people want to follow something. It's okay to pencil in or block out. It's not okay to just stop unless there's a good reason, but adjusting is not a bad thing. A lot of people think, oh, well, this is what it says to do here, so they have to follow it. And no, it's just a guideline. When it comes down to it, even when I make a program, I'm gonna walk a little bit. When I do a program, I always tell people adjust as needed. And if I need to talk to them and say, all right, we're gonna adjust here, we're gonna adjust there. That sometimes is the advantage of having one-on-one coaching versus, what's it called? Coaching clubs or running club coaching, where it's just general. You wanna make it as specific to you as possible. I wanna say also, I'm not a doctor. I don't have my PhD in nutrition. So I am a registered dietitian. I'm not a registered dietitian. I have friends of mine who are. So these are the experts when it comes to that. They were able to get your blood work, and then they're able to let you know, hey, you're deficient in this and this and that. So I had brought up also circulation, guys. If your circulation is not good and it's causing your heavy legs, if it's just getting to the point where it's just overbearing, I would suggest going and seeing a doctor, okay? Because it may be something a little bit deeper than just the stuff that I mentioned. So that's when you go and you see a doctor. Again, I'm not a doctor. Doctor supersedes anything I say, so make sure that you remember that. But again, I'm doing these videos to try to make, I'm gonna run a little bit, to try to make your running journey as best as possible. It's just, I want you to learn your body. I want you to be able to know what you're doing. And that's what happened to me when I transformed this. I know what I can do, I know what I can't do, but I did this over years. And again, when I became a certified running coach, I loved working one-on-one, but most of them were groups. And a lot of the group coaches would sit there going like, "Hey, we don't care. If they drop out, they drop out." And it always bothered me because I sat there going like, no, shouldn't our goal be to make sure that they all finish? And they're like, well, it's not up to us and stuff. But I said, but if we don't do everything that we can, then we're failing. And that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to get you to get as much ammo that you can, so you have a great experience like I do on a regular basis at the Run Disney events. Well, that's it for this video. Oops, I just made a turn. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Again, I can speak on this for hours on these topics. Try to make them about 10-15 minutes, so that way, you know, like I said, I'll be talking forever. But comment down below, ask questions. Next week, I may still do a running video. I may wait a couple of weeks, because next week is we have registration, like you just saw, for Princess. We have, if there's any available, Club Run Disney spots. So that's going to be going on next week. And the following week, I'll make a quick video. Then I'm off to D23. So, but in between, I'll see about topics. If there's a lot of comments about certain topics, I'm probably going to make another video before I leave. If not, it might be a bit. But it comes to training videos, I'll still make the videos. But thank you guys for watching. Comment down below. You guys are amazing. I hope your training is going well. Without further ado, create a magical day. Create a magical run. And guys, see ya sooner than later. It's still muggy.